Welcome to Toffee TV. This is the Everton News Daily. Everton suffered a 2-0 defeat to Liverpool in the Merseyside derby at Anfield last night. I'm sure you all know it was a poor game, poor performance by Everton, to be honest. And Sean Dyche was asked in his post-match press conference what his thoughts were on the performance, and this is what he had to say.
I think they had the upper hand in the early stages of the game without really opening too much up. Thought our shape was good, covering shape was good from the defenders. The energy was decent, but we didn't use the ball as well. We didn't look to play as much as what I hoped. And then it changes on, 15, 16 seconds, where we hit the post and we don't quite react as quick. We know that Liverpool are good on that kind of transition phase. I know they've had a bit of up and down time more recently, but they're still a good outfit. We concede a goal really without needing to. Just on transition, I think Jordan has a bit of a misread. He's still got a lot to do, even if he doesn't misread it, but I think he has a bit of a misread. And that was the story of the first half, a breakaway goal out of a nothing sort of situation, or one where we could have scored even. And then we calmed it down and got to half time. And I said to the players, I said, look, we've got to play. We've got to use the ball better. But if you give away a goal so quickly, it's very difficult then at any ground, but certainly here, if you're 2 down. We kept plugging away, kept trying to play. Too many sloppy passes, too many turnovers. And then we created a really good chance for Tom. We don't take that. That might have made it nervy at the end of the game. The players have, I said last week, they've taken a lot on board, so I'm not going to be too critical. There's a lot gone into the players. They've delivered a lot. They've been working very hard, very diligently, and finding that balance of in possession, out of possession, sort of searching for the right framework of the team out of possession. And then now we can turn that through transition into good possession and affect teams. So I think that's the next layer of what we want to do.
Yeah, it was a poor game, let's be honest, and I think there was a lot of optimism going into the game because of the win against Arsenal. And there was only one game, but I don't blame anyone, to be honest, because we were that good against Arsenal, and I think maybe we put the amount of effort we did against Arsenal into that game last night, then we might saw different results, but ultimately we don't know because it just seems like the effort wasn't there from the players. And I think a big factor into the game as well and the performance was against Arsenal. We had Dominic Calvert-Lewin as a massive focal point, and he didn't score, but you look at the numbers and you look at how Everton got up the pitch and transitioned and the way we played and kept hold of the ball. Dominic Calvert-Lewin was a massive focal point, and you lose him, and like I said before, you don't have a like-for-like striker, so we had to put Ellis Sims in there, and I think that was a big, I don't know whether it's an issue. Well, it is an issue because, ultimately, in my opinion, he's just not good enough for the Premier League, and I think it showed last night that, playing as a lone striker, he can't do what Dominic Calvert-Lewin does, and Sean Dyche was asked about that anyway, and this is what he had to say.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's working diligently. I think he's had an up and down time. The challenge we've got is not just to get the injury fit, it's to get him generally fit so his body doesn't break down. And I think that might, I might have to give him extra time for that and actually slow that down to make sure, because we don't want to play for one game, we want him for as many games as possible. So that's going to be, the right kind of challenge for me and the staff to make sure that we give him a chance to be really fit, if you like, rather than sort of getting him back for the sake of one game, if you like. So it's a tough call, that one, but hopefully we'll see how it's settling this week.
Yeah, I did say beforehand it'll be interesting to see what he would do. I didn't expect Sims to go in there, and I can see why, because with he's a big striker, so people could assume that he can do the job that Dominic Calvert-Lewin does. He just doesn't for me, and I don't think he's maybe playing next to another striker. He's a poacher, getting those areas around the 6-yard box, or he's clinical in the box if he's on the ball, but he just didn't do enough last night, and that's not on him, to be honest. You couldn't really give him stick because he shouldn't be here. He should be at Sunderland, develop him. But Everton's poor recruitment means that he's ended up now starting in the Merseyside derby, and it shows you as well what the manager probably thinks of Maupay. Maupay coming in and playing games for Lampard, and then suddenly under a new manager, your third choice striker. It'd be interesting to see what we do going forward, because he's played an hour now, Sims. Whether he's going to try and build on that, they're going to improve him and look what he did right and what he did wrong, or just drop him, bring Maupay in. But then you're in a situation where you might be going back to the start, where you might realise, well, Maupay can't do it either then. So it will be interesting what he does. Some coaching news today. Toffees have hired 2 new coaches. They've appointed Tom Kearney and Dan Copnall as assistant heads of coaching. I'm not a bright. Academically, I'm bright. I'm not a very overall a bright person. So maybe someone can tell me, but I have no idea what an assistant head of coaching is, or what that role requires them to do, and why you have 2 of them. But listen, if they've been influenced by Sean Dyche's signings, or they've been influenced by Kevin Thelwell, then hopefully, they're coming in to do a massive job and benefit us, and hopefully the end result is Everton get better on the pitch, because we need it. And we didn't sign any players in January, so hopefully these coaches can at least give us something. I don't think they'll be getting the boots on and getting on the pitch against Leeds on Saturday, if I'm being honest, but if they can try and influence some change, then great. We've seen a lot of changes in the club this season under Thelwell since he came in, and last season. Lots of new coaches, lots of coaches leaving, coming and going, so hopefully this can just be 2 new decent additions. But yeah, I don't really know much to say about them or what to say on them, but there you go. I'm just going to report the news. Whether it makes a difference to Everton's fate, I don't know, but there you go. That's all the news for today. Bit of a quiet one. It's just everyone's, I think, on a down after yesterday, to be honest, but hopefully we'll get some more news, and hopefully some good news before Leeds, because I think we need the lift going into an important home game. They're without a manager, and we're in need of 3 points desperately. We're in the bottom 3, and they're just above us, so if we can get the 3 points, that'll be a big game, but we'll talk about that later in the week. There you go. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you want more videos, including live daily exclusive videos, join us on Toffee TV Premier. There is a QR code on the screen in about 2 seconds. See you later.